What's up, guys? GameNut here, and welcome back to my NFL regular season predictions. Week number 6 is what we are now entering, but let's of course go ahead and see our predictions from last week to see how well we ended up doing. And as you guys are seeing it, not too bad, man. I'm not too upset about it. You guys have seen it. There was only 14 games in total last week because of the Broncos Patriots had to get postponed a little bit further. So obviously just disregard that. So there was 14 games in total last week, and we ended up going 8-6, which, like I said, I'm not too mad about. Just pretty much right at 50, right above it, and it could have been a lot worse. There was a lot of crazy games last week, definitely some unexpected outcomes on most of these, at least in my book. But as we look at the other side, though, for Madden 21, man, they almost went perfect, man. What a week for them. 12-2, only guessing 2 games wrong. And honestly, that Niners game, that wasn't a bad pick. I don't think anybody expected that. So really, it could have been 1 game guess wrong. But hey, man, definitely a nice week for Madden 21, going 12-2. I definitely wish that my record would look like that, and hopefully it will here for week number 6. So looking at our schedule for week 6 now, and of course for our teams that are on a bye, we've got ourselves the Seattle Seahawks going in 5-0, undefeated, man. Russell Wilson just looking like he's MVP caliber this season so far, man. Joining them is also the Los Angeles Chargers, New Orleans Saints, and the Las Vegas Raiders for the bye week. And of course, like I've said before, as of me recording this right now, that is the only teams on a bye. No other games have been canceled. I know there's like 2 games right now that, people have their eyes on. I believe it's the Falcons, Vikings. I think it's good to go as of right now. Same for the Broncos and Patriots once again, but obviously, you guys know if those games get canceled, just disregard my my prediction for this week of that. But obviously, starting on the schedule, no Thursday night games this week because of the mess that's going on right now. Got ourselves nothing but Sunday games as of right now. And on the list, we've got the one that's been postponed so far. We've got ourselves now the Denver Broncos going to take on the New England Patriots. And once again, before this week happened, if they didn't get postponed from last week and they did play, I said the Patriots, which that still stands right now. I'm going with New England once again. And I believe Cam Newton is actually back now. I guess he's all good from COVID. He's recovered. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw last on Twitter about Cam Newton. So I think if this game does happen, he will be playing in it. And obviously, if that is the case, then, definitely it's going to be New England coming out on top. Which, like I said, even without Cam Newton, I still think the Patriots would have been able to do it. Next game up, we've got ourselves a division matchup with the Houston Texans, now 1-4, finally able to get themselves their first win of the season last week. They're going to take on the still undefeated Tennessee Titans, now sitting at 4-0. And man, let me tell you, that Tuesday game with the Bills and the Titans last week, man, I couldn't believe the Bills putting up a performance like that. They looked like my Ravens when we played primetime against the Chiefs. I mean, it was just, it was terrible. I just don't understand how a team like the Titans, who I'm pretty sure they said at some point during that game that they only practiced like 2 days because of all the people getting COVID every day, and then it's just like they could never actually have practice, and they had like 3 or 4 offensive starters out because of it, and then they only practiced 2 days, and you lose to a team like that when you're undefeated. It kind of blew my mind, man. And honestly, I just feel like Tennessee is a fake good team. Like I don't know, man. I can't join the bandwagon yet. I don't think they're a good football team. I don't understand how they're 4-0 and they haven't lost yet, and I can't believe the Bills played that poorly against them this week, man. And I am going with the upset alert. Yes, it's obviously upset because the Titans are undefeated so far, so I don't think anybody's going to be picking the Texans to win this, man. But I'm going with Houston, okay? Like I said, it's upset alert. Division games are always played tougher. It does not matter what the records are. They're used to playing each other, man, and I don't know. I think Deshaun Watson and the Texans, they're not just throwing in the towel just yet, man. And if they go 1-5, that's going to make the hole even harder for them to dig out of it, and I think this will be a good win for a man. And like I said, I think it's going to be an upset. I don't think the Titans are as good as their record shows, and I'm going with the Texans for this one, man. I hope they don't let me down. Man, it is just such a 2020 thing to see the Cleveland Browns having a 4-1 record next to their name, man. Like, just as weird of a year as this has been, man, as crazy of a year it has been, it only makes sense for the Cleveland Browns to be having a good season during this year. It's just, you can't make it up. Like, they probably won't ever have a good season like this again for a few years. It's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy to see. Cleveland sitting at 4-1, going to take on the division rival Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. They're still sitting undefeated at 4-0, man. For this matchup, I really don't care who loses. I want to see either one of them lose because somebody's got to win. They're in my division, and I'm going to be going with the better team, which I still think is the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously. I know the Browns are having a great start to their season, a lot of success, but I think, when Week 17 rolls around, they're not going to be in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to have that winning record when the end of the season comes around, and if they do, I don't think they'd make it far in the playoffs anyways, but I just think the Pittsburgh Steelers are better. They're coming back, man. Big Ben and the offense is getting together like he's healthy again, at least for now. They've got all the pieces on defense offense that they've been building over the past few years, man. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they look like they're going to be a threat in the AFC North once again, man. And it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm kind of excited about it because it's been a while since we've had the Ravens and Steelers both being really good and being rivals. So I'm excited about it. But like I said, I don't care about either of these teams losing. It'll make me happy, and someone's got to get 5 wins. But I think the Steelers are going to be the ones to come out on top. Next up, we've got my team, my Baltimore Ravens. We are now sitting at 4-1, man. You love to see it. Hey, I said there was a stretch of 3 games that were super easy for us to get all of our kinks out, and hey, so far we've won those 2. This is matchup number 3, man. Going to take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home. They are sitting at 1-3-1, and clearly my Ravens are coming out on top, man. There should be no way my Ravens lose this game. We're the best defense right now in the NFL. We've let up the least amount of points against teams, and obviously the Eagles offense just has a lot of struggles. They really haven't been able to score or be very successful in offense, and I think our defense is definitely going to give them a lot of trouble. And I mean, our offense, Lamar Jackson, I think he's going to get the job done, no doubt. And this should be a pretty easy win for my Ravens. Another division matchup now in the NFC Least. We've got ourselves the 1-4 football team, man, going against the 0-5 Giants. It's crazy to me that there can be a division this bad in the NFL and still one of them will make the playoffs. I guess that's how it works, man, but it's so funny to see. Anyways, for this game, man, it's such a toss-up. I feel like whatever team I pick, the other one will win. I mean, it's 2 garbage teams. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to go with the Washington football team, though, just because I think their defense is better, and obviously the Giants, they're just incapable of doing anything. They're missing a lot. The running back situation is just bad. Daniel Jones just is literally Eli Manning 2.0. Everything is just bad about the Giants, I feel like, man, and it's kind of hard to pick them. So I know both these teams aren't the best, but I think the Washington football team has the better chance of getting the win. Man, it's crazy because I feel like a few years ago you would see these 2 teams going at each other and they'd have really good records, and fast forward to 2020 and now both of them 0-5 and 1-4. It's definitely been a wild year of football, man, no doubt. But Atlanta Falcons now going to take on the Minnesota Vikings, and I feel like both of these teams are in the exact same boat, man. Like, they've got decent offenses, they can move the ball, they can get yards, they can put points up on the board, but then when it comes to defense, they just can't seem to get stops, they can't get off the field, and at the end of the games, their opponents always end up with more points, and they keep losing games. It feels like they're both doing the same thing this year, man. So it's going to be a fun matchup to watch, considering they both play the same way. Somebody's got to win, man, and I'm going with the Falcons. This is the last time, man. I swear, if they lose for me once again, I'm done picking them for the rest of the year. And the only reason I'm picking them this week is because I just feel like they fired their head coach this week. I'm pretty sure they fired somebody else higher up, like the GM or something around there. And I think because of that, that's the way things go in the NFL sometimes. They fire somebody, and look, then the team all of a sudden can win games. And I can just see that happening this week with the Falcons, man. I don't see them falling to 0-6, and I think with this matchup, 2 teams that can never seem to come out on top, I think the Falcons, this is finally going to be their week. Next matchup, we've got ourselves the Detroit Lions, now sitting at 1-3. It's been a while since we've seen these guys play. Going against now the Jacksonville Jaguars, another team with just 1 win this season, sitting at 1-4. And for this matchup, I think I'm going to go with Detroit, man. They look to be a little bit of a better team. They're definitely coming off, their bye week, so they're well rested. And the Jaguars just don't seem to have it, man. Once again, I'm glad it's happening because this whole nonsense with Minshew Mania last year, man, I was so tired of seeing it. He wins a few games and everybody thinks he's just the next big thing. And reality hits, and I couldn't be happier. I love to see it, man. Jaguars, once again, just unable to win football games. It's nothing against the Jags, man. It's just I got really annoyed with seeing Minshew's face everywhere all over the NFL. And I'm glad that he's not winning games, so his face isn't everywhere. But anyways, like I said, I think the Lions are the better team. Adrian Peterson, I'm really hoping he's going to have a good game against the Jags here, and I think I'm going to be rocking with Detroit for this one. The Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow now sitting at 1-3-1, taking that loss to my Ravens last week, man. And I know Burrow was definitely hurting for the next day or two, man. We were putting a hurting on him, man. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was so much pressure, and that's because the Bengals O-line, man, I'm sure as most of you guys know, it's not too good. You could say that, and he was definitely running for his life last week. They are this week, however, now going to take on the Indianapolis Colts, sitting at 3-2, losing to the Browns, man. Which once again, I can't believe Cleveland. I didn't think that they were going to play that well against the Colts, man. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just Phillip Rivers. I think he's starting to fall off, man. But even though I'm saying that, I've got to go with the Colts. The Bengals, man, it's just they've got too many bad pieces, man. They can't protect for Burrow. They've only got a decent running back. There's just not that many weapons for Burrow to even throw to, and then the defense is a whole nother story. They just don't have it, man. They need to have a couple more years with some top draft picks to build that team a little bit more or something, man. And the Colts, they definitely should be the better team here, and they're going to come out with the win, I would think. The Chicago Bears now sitting at 4-1, going to take on the Carolina Panthers, sitting at 3-2. And for me, man, I feel like it's kind of surprising to see both these teams sitting with this record. I mean, the Bears, obviously, with Trubisky winning those few games. Obviously, Nick Foles has taken over for now, and, he's doing his thing. And then Teddy Bridgewater, I feel like he's a surprise. I don't know if as many people expected him to do as well this year and, get some wins. And he's doing so without McCaffrey as of least of right now. And as for this matchup, man, I think it could be an interesting one. And I'm going to roll with the Panthers. I haven't picked them that much this year, but I'm finally going to do it, man. I'm going to go with Carolina. I just feel like, now that Nick Foles is in, once again, everybody was like, oh, Trubisky can't win games, which obviously we all know is true, and they all think Nick Foles is just the savior, and you plug him in, and it's guaranteed win in football games. But I think I'm finally going to have to roll with the Panthers, man. I haven't been picking them, and I think this week I'm going to see them picking up the win over the Bears. A division matchup now in the AFC East. We've got ourselves the New York Jets sitting once again winless at 0-5, and also now freshly off of releasing Le'Veon Bell. Poor New York, man, just their football teams, it's crazy. They're combined 0-10. They're going to take on now the Miami Dolphins, who are sitting at 2-3, and obviously for this game should be a pretty easy pick, which kind of feels weird to say. We're going with the Dolphins, man. Obviously, I know division matchups are played tougher. I feel like it could be a close game. Maybe the Dolphins struggle a little bit because, like I said, they're very used to playing each other. But it would seem very odd to see the Jets come out on top, man. Obviously, I think it could happen, but there's no way I can make that prediction. I just have to stick with the Dolphins because I definitely can see them being the team that should win here. Man, I just realized this, but this is really weird. I don't understand why the NFL does this. There's only 2 4 o'clock games this week, and there's like 9 1 o'clock games. Like, what is the point of that? Why do they not spread them out more so people can actually, watch more of them and enjoy it? It's going to be a boring 4 o'clock hour, man. Not too exciting with only 2 games. But anyways, we've now got ourselves a pretty good matchup nonetheless. We got 2 GOATs, man. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers going at each other. Green Bay Packers off their bye, sitting at 4-0, undefeated, going to take on Tom Brady and the Bucks, sitting at 3-2. For this game, man, it's going to be great to watch. Like I said, 2 GOATs, Tom Brady and Rodgers going at it. It's going to be exciting. I'm so glad we've got this matchup. And I'm going to have to go with Aaron Rodgers, man. I think I'm going to go with that number 12 instead of Tom Brady. Obviously, just the Packers, man, they're undefeated, okay? They haven't lost anybody. The offense, Aaron Rodgers, they're dominant. Aaron Rodgers ain't thrown a pick yet this year. They keep winning games. They look amazing, and their defense obviously looks a lot better this year. And Tom Brady, although I do think that the Bucks are up and coming, as each game gets on, the Bucks are going to get better with Tom Brady getting that experience in that offense. But for this one, man, I can't see him beating Aaron Rodgers. I don't see him beating the Packers. So A-Rod and Green Bay, I see him moving on to 5-0. And for Sunday Night Football, we've got ourselves a division matchup in the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams, now sitting at 4-1, going to take on the San Francisco 49ers at 2-3. And man, the Niners, I don't know what's going on with them, man. They've obviously got the injury problem, so that doesn't really help out with their situation. But on top of it, I don't know what's going on. Definitely not the same San Francisco team from last year. I mean, the Dolphins putting up 40 points on them. I don't think anybody predicted that from last week. And they're definitely not the team from last year. And as for this game, man, I think it could be close. It's division, so obviously it'll be played tough, but the Rams just seem better. They're 4-1, and with the struggles that the Niners have, I feel like it would be very surprising to see them come out and give the Rams a loss here. So I feel like I've got to stick with Los Angeles. Once again, we've got ourselves 2 Monday Night Football games, but obviously the 2 didn't happen last week with one getting moved. So hopefully this week both of these games do happen. But for starters, we've got ourselves the Kansas City Chiefs going to take on the Buffalo Bills. Both teams sitting at 4-1. This is going to be an exciting matchup to watch, man. And for it, I've got to pick the Chiefs, man. Okay, I know that they just lost to the Raiders, but hey, it's a division matchup. I told you guys that I feel like I could see the Raiders winning that game. I'm pretty sure I said that last week. Obviously, it ended up happening. It's hard to pick against a team like the Chiefs. But for this matchup, I'm still picking them, man, because they're obviously still an incredibly good team. And just the way that the Bills' defense played last week against the Titans, how do you think they're going to perform against the Chiefs' offense, man? I feel like if they did as bad as they did last week, the Chiefs' offense should put up freaking 60 points this week or something, man. I don't know, but I definitely, nonetheless, I still see the Chiefs obviously coming out on top. And finally, last but not least, Monday night matchup number 2, we've got ourselves the Arizona Cardinals Cardinals, sitting at 3-2, going to take on the Dallas Cowboys, now at 2-3. And obviously, without Dak Prescott, I guess we haven't talked about that yet, huh? I mean, what a crazy injury, man. Just, you never want to see something like that happen to a player, whether you love him or you hate him. Just something like that, man, I could never imagine having an injury like that. That freaks me out. But hey, man, prayers up to Dak. We know he's going to come back and he'll be better. And it's just tough scenes for the Cowboys. They obviously weren't the best team this year, and it was a struggle for them to win games. And with obviously somebody like that going down for their team, the Cowboys, their season, I feel like you can probably just write it in stone at this point. But for this matchup, we've got to go with the Cardinals. I think Arizona is going to be able to get out the win. If, Dak Prescott was playing, might say otherwise, but obviously different looks for the Dallas Cowboys nowadays considering what happened last week. It definitely sucks. But anyways, for this matchup, like I said, we are going to be going with the Cardinals. And that is going to do it for my predictions for week number 6, you guys. I hope you all did enjoy it. I know this one was a little bit lengthier than the previous prediction videos, man, but I feel like, hey, last week was a very active and busy week in the NFL, so I feel like as if there was a lot to discuss here in week number 6, man. But hey, I want to know if any of you guys actually make it this far. I know some of you guys don't mind having longer videos, which I appreciate you guys, man, but if anybody does make it this far, hey, I want you guys to comment pizza, okay, if you watch the entire thing, if you actually heard this. But anyways, like I said, man, I hope you all enjoyed. Crazy week of football last week, man. Excited to see what's going to happen here in week number 6. I feel like it can't be as active as last week, man, but you never know what'll happen in the NFL. But anyways, like I said, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.